So that then takes me down to the outcome. If I cannot prevent a stroke, I certainly want to envision that if you had the stroke and went up in the hospital, you should be in the position to say, I want to go back home, I don't want to go to a rehab. And the question is, well, what can you and should you be doing today to make that happen? And the answer really is, and that's what we said, if you have an acute illness, you want to come back home. That's the discharge plan you want. If you have chronic illness, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, you want to be able to access your care at home. But that'll mean that you have to start looking at your home rather differently. Housing is going to be, and that's the home. If you want to stay in your home, one of the questions I always ask in my interviews is, where do you want to age? Where do you see yourself? And you'll say, I see myself at home. When was the house built? 1927. Tell me a bit about your house. Where are your living quarters? They're upstairs. Where's your laundry? It's down in the basement. You got to be kidding yourself if you think you'll be able to navigate your retirement in this house. It's not going to happen. Now, if you really want to stay in your house, if that's what you really truly want to do, are you willing to go ahead and make it senior friendly or remodel? Sometimes you might say, yeah, I want to go ahead and get it remodeled. We pull in a guy who can go ahead and give you a list of all the things you'll have to do to make this house senior friendly, and the bill is going to be $180,000 to go get it done. And you'll say, heck no, I'm not going to spend this. I'd much rather spend half that money, sell my house, move into a Rambler, which is a newer Rambler, which will be far more accessible for anything. So that's the first decision you need to make. Where do you see yourself? If it's your own home, is your home ready to go ahead and bring you back? Are you able to access the care in your house? If not, what changes will you need to make? And I will then link you with either your own insurance company's occupational therapist, and I will ask the occupational therapist to go down to your house and do something called a home safety evaluation. And what is that? It's a laundry list. You need to make all these changes. Interestingly enough, you should be able to take care of a lot of those things yourself. It doesn't take necessarily a professional remodeler to go ahead and do some of those things. Some of those things you may have to get someone else from the outside to get it done. But slowly and surely you can start chipping away at that. Is organized housing for you? That's the other thing. And somebody said, I was asking how many of you see yourself in the home, and I think some people didn't raise their hands, and I'm assuming you would be willing to move to a retirement community. In India, in the third world, the reason why you don't have nursing homes is because you've got joint family systems there. You know, in the house I grew up in, there were my grandparents, there were my uncles, aunts, cousins, nephews, nieces, dogs, cats, cows, monkeys, everyone lived in the same house. When my grandparents needed help, there was just not my parents or my uncle and aunt, there were nieces, nephews, there was everyone there, and human help is so easily available. That's why you can get away saying they don't have nursing homes there, even though sometimes the kids are wishing that there were nursing homes, but they're not. But here, what we don't have by way of joint family systems, we do have by way of organized housing. And for many people, you know, if you don't have children who are living in the immediate vicinity, you don't have the informal support systems, we can create that by moving to a retirement community. And in Olympia, you've got the two that I like in the south end, there are 3 or 4 of them. One is Frank Toby Jones in Tacoma. One is Jubilee, one is Panorama. You know, those are the 2 in Olympia. And I haven't really looked too much around up here, and I'm sure if I look hard enough, there'll be some communities up here. But what happens is when you move there, you don't ever have to, I think, generally think about moving again, because the places are laid out, you can access the care right there. Some of these places are continuing care retirement communities, which is the last bucket, which is my favorite. If you can move to something called a continuing care retirement community, you start moving by moving into an independent living community. Then if you needed a higher level of care, assisted living is right there and nursing home is right there. And you don't have to worry about that. So think about these. You don't have to act on it. But what you should be doing is either rule this in or rule it out. And if you can rule organized moving out and you want to stay in your own home, then you have to go through this. Because the goal is don't have a stroke and sit in the hospital, then say, I want to go back home without having done your homework. That's when it becomes difficult to do.